Today we are going to learn about iris reflex. So before learning about iris reflex, let's have a look at what is iris. So as we can see here, our eye, if we look it at from outside, it has two portions. The white portion is called sclera and the colored portion is called iris. So it means if your eye color is black, which means your iris is black. If someone's eye color is, for example, gray, the iris is gray. Now we can see that there is a hole in the iris. This is called pupil. Okay? So in our eye, the colored region is the iris, and in the iris we have a hole. Alright, this hole is called pupil. So when we look at an object, light enters in our eye through the pupil. Now in the second figure, figure B, we can see that the pupil can be dilated or constricted. Right? Pupilta boro choto hote pare. Right? Now why does this happen? Why the pupil will be dilated and constricted? To control the amount of light entering the eye. Okay, so when the pupil is dilated, more light enters the eye. When the pupil is constricted, less light enters the eye. Okay, now when will it happen? When the pupil will be dilated and when the pupil will be constricted? So you see that when the light intensity is low, for example, when you switch off the light and when you are in a low light intensity, for example, you switched on the dim light. At that time, already there is very less light. You don't want any more light to escape. You want all the light to enter in your eye, right? For that, you must dilate the pupil. But in bright light condition, when there is a lot of light, you don't want that light to all enter in your eye and damage the retina. For that, what you have to do, you have to constrict the pupil. So when you are in bright light, which can damage your retina, you want to constrict the pupil. When you are in dim light, where there is already less light, you want to take as much light as you can take, right? For that reason, the pupil is dilated. Is it clear? So in bright light, our pupil constrict. In dim light, our pupil dilate. Now, how is it controlled? Amader pupil ta dilate and constrict kibhabe hocche? So our iris, that is a colored portion, is made of two types of muscle. One is circular muscle, another one is radial muscle. So this, we can see that is present in the form of the radius. This is the radial muscle, and this one is the circular muscle. When you want to dilate the pupil, the radial muscle contract and the circular muscle relax and the pupil is dilated, which happens in dim light. The radial muscle contract and the circular muscle relax and the pupil is dilated. What happens in bright light? You want to constrict the pupil. What happens at that time? In bright light, the circular muscle will contract, the radial muscle will relax and the pupil will be dilated. Is it clear? So bright light, we don't want all the light to enter our eye and damage our retina. So we want to constrict the pupil, for which the circular muscle contract, the radial muscle relax, pupil is dilated. In dim light, we want to take all the light in our eye, for which we want to dilate the pupil and the circular muscle relax, the radial muscle contract, and the pupil is dilated. Clear, everyone?